Welcome to Fabulous Women Over 40, hosted by celebrity stylist Kara Allan. Join Kara as she interviews amazing women, sometimes younger and amazing men as well, in their 40s and beyond. Here's Kara with our Fabulous Woman of the Day.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Fabulous Women Over 40. I'm your host, Kara Allan, the Style Goddess, and today I'm so excited about my guest. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's a coach, she's amazing, she's a manifesting master. Welcome, Natasha Graziano.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you, Queen. I love your show, and I'm just honored to spend some time with you and your gorgeous audience today.
I'm so honored that you're here, and so I'm so excited. I have a whole load of questions here for you, so get ready. We're going to get into it.
Amazing.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your upbringing and your family. Like, where did you grow up? How were your parents? What was the relationship like? Did you have siblings? Like, give us all the deets on that.
So I grew up in Oxfordshire, which is in the countryside in England, in the UK. You can probably tell by the accent.
Yes.
And I was at school there, 4 sisters. Well, there was 4 of us, 4 girls, 1 boy, so 5 total. And it was fun. It was a fun childhood growing up. I went through some crazy turbulence during my childhood, but
yeah,
family wise, that was it. I was there, and then I moved to London, found myself in America, up to speed where we are today.
So did you know that you had a propensity for a particular skill or talent when you were a child, and how did you know, and what was it?
To be honest, no. I just knew I had a voice. Like, I always wanted to sing. I wanted to talk. I wanted to be on stage. I just always wanted to like do stuff. And then with my voice, and then I guess I started speaking occasionally, in churches at Christmas. I'd do a reading, and it would be a bit more than a reading. And then I did like these drama exams at school, and I would just be so over the top. And then I would just be like, oh my God, this is less about, I don't want to be talking about other people's words. I want to be me. That's what's shining through. I want to speak my own words. So I started reading my own things, and I started writing and studying and learning. And that skill eventually turned into an incredibly thick text of years and years and years and years of knowledge, which I compressed down into a very small manual of just the bits that I wanted to put out there in the world, which was my first book, The Action Plan, which was released a few years ago. And yeah, since then I've not stopped writing and speaking on stages and putting all of my wisdom and my knowledge and things that have been passed down to me through the centuries. Yeah, and here we are today.
Nice. Was there anyone in your life that through your childhood and your teenage years that nurtured your wanting to have having a voice or wanting to speak? Anyone in your family or anyone you knew that was like, girl, you need to get out there?
I guess my mom was like, you got to do it. You've got to just get your voice out there. There's something that you've got to share. Now, I didn't know at the time what I had to share was my trauma and my pain I've been through. I thought it was, I literally thought, oh, it's just me like sharing knowledge. But then the chaos happened in my life. Like my life changed dramatically. I was so pushed away by my family. I was so aside from my family. I lost my way. I, went through a crazy few years in my life of my body being exploited, and then a drug addiction, being a webcam girl, and then a cycle of that, which led me to the street. And it was horrendous. But from that, my mess became my message. From that, my journey became my freedom. Everything that I went through that was meant to be formed against me, every time someone tried to bring me down, every time I got brought down to the point where I was homeless, to the point where I lost everything. I had no money. I was in debt, hundreds of thousands. When you get to that place, there's nowhere else to go. It's rock bottom after rock bottom.
Yeah.
Then I had an illness. So, I think the illness for me was even worse in many ways. Like, I think being suicidal because you don't want to live anymore because you got an illness, because it's taken your sparkle from you.
Yeah.
That was worse for me than anything. And that was when I shifted. That's when I learned. That was only in
Yeah.
2018. So a lot's happened for me in the last few years, but that is where my story is. The journey of what I've been through, the blessings of the curse. Like Rumi, the 16th century poet, once said, let your pain be your cure. My cure was going through that trauma. My cure was having to go through adversity and pain so that I could go on and share with the world how I overcame it. And why do I have this platform? The platform I have was given to me, which exponentially grows all the time. Why? Because I'm meant to share this with the world. I'm not meant to keep it in. I'm not meant to hold it back. I'm meant to share. So I help one person a day. It's how I saved a life last week. It's how I saved a life the week before. It's how I continue to save lives every day, because I'm willing to put my vulnerability forwards. I'm willing to say, I went through a crazy time. And because I was this, and because I was in the worst rock bottom ever, I'm sharing with you how I overcame it, how you can overcome it too.
Right. So what would you tell your younger self, or someone that was your age or is your age when you started going through all this trauma? Like, what would you tell them to be grounded and kind of get through it and not become a victim of, what's happening to you in that sense?
So I would tell them to triple check everything you do. So when you do it once, when you send an email, don't send it. Reread it twice, reread it a third time, and then hit send. It's a golden rule. Whenever you make a decision, before you buy anything, is that good for you? Ask yourself once, twice, thrice. When you ask yourself 3 times, you have time to think about the answer properly. Half my decisions were made of impulsive moments, or feeding the addiction, which I needed to feed in that moment because I couldn't escape it. So I had to earn money in a backwards way, right? To bring in quick cash. Bad story, but that's the story that has led me to being who I am today. It's not a part of my future. It's not who I've been for 10 years, right? We're not the same person that we were yesterday than we are from 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. We're a different person every minute, every moment. Me being here today with you, I'm a different person. You're going to go away a different person, hopefully, after this. Someone else listening is going to go away a different person after this. We are a different person evolving. And sometimes you have to let go of friends. And sometimes you have to let go of family members. And sometimes you have to disconnect from the people that do not serve you anymore because they are pulling you down. They are taking your energy. They are stealing from you. They are not putting you up in the way you need in your new self, in your new way. And that's what my new book's about, Be It Until You Become It.
Yeah, because you can have family and friends. They could be the worst sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
As far as
of course.
not
Usually they are.
supporting. Yeah, not supporting or, and then getting stuck in the past. One of my favorite things I heard, and I don't remember who said it, but it was yesterday ended last night. As far as not holding on to things,
Wow.
you know what I mean?
Well, I say yesterday doesn't care about you, so why do you care about it?
Well, that's true too.
Same thing. So don't care about yesterday because it don't give a about you. You need to move forwards. You need to look at tomorrow. You need to look at today. What are you doing to leave a legacy after you're gone? What are you doing to show up in your highest?
Right.
If you continue to worry about the past, it will eat you up. Worry eats you up. Stress causes illness, ailments in the body. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's true.
Takes years off your life. You cannot live in the past anymore because that means they win. That's his story, not your story.
It's true. Yeah. So what was your first job when you were a young adult or a teenager, and what did you like about it and what sucked about it?
My first job as a teenager, I did temping. So I would do door-to-door sales. I would knock on the doors and sell the temping agency that I was working for. So like a recruitment agency, I would sell their services to every local business. And I just remember knocking on doors and giving out leaflets. And that gave me the fire of the confidence of being able to speak to people like, hey, I'm selling ice to an Eskimo right now. Like, this is going to work. Like, I didn't know what the fuck the product was even about, but I made it work. Like, I made it work. And you just gotta, and I just knocked on those doors, and now it's digital doors we knock on. Now we knock on
It's true.
digital doors when we say, "Hey, what's up? Knock, knock. Who's there? Hi, I'm selling this." Like when you knock on doors, you're emailing, you're DMing, you're sending out things all the time. That's the same as knocking on a physical door, like I did back then. So, yeah, door-to-door sales was my first thing.
Mm. And so, like, that had to foster a good sense of not caring about being rejected, right? Because you get a lot of doors slammed in your face, I would imagine, with that, especially
Oof.
physical doors, you know what I mean?
So many doors. It was horrendous. When you get doors slammed in your face all the time, you start to build tenacity. You start to
Yeah.
build resilience. You're, a bit more fired up each time because it's okay. And by the way, it is okay. You got to lean into rejection. You got to lean into fear. Doesn't mean you got to face dive and just land on your face, but you got to lean into fear because fear is just false evidence appearing real. You're not going
Right.
to grow unless you lean into the fear, into an uncomfortable space, because comfort is the enemy of growth. You're
It's
not going to
true.
grow unless you lean into this discomfort. So you got to lean into it. That's how you know when you're growing. That's imposter syndrome right there, whole other topic. But rejection, right, kind of the same topic, is when okay, I got to build resilience. Here's the question. When you are rejected, how badly do you want it? Because if you want
Yeah.
it, you're going to go back again. No doesn't mean no in that way. No sometimes means yes. Remember that. No sometimes means yes. And that means with friends and families and boundaries and you putting up the no sign, which sometimes mean yes. Or sometimes when someone says yes to you, you just simply haven't asked them in the right way. So when you get no, ask them in another way.
Right. Or I've heard that it's not them saying no to you, it's them saying no to themselves. Like there's something they don't see about whatever you're offering at the moment that they don't see how it's going to be good for them. Maybe we haven't done our job. I don't know. Maybe that could be it too.
Yeah, that could definitely be, it can be a reflection of what they're going through, or maybe you need to up your own game and step it up so
Yeah.
that you offer more value than what you're asking for, and then it's a no-brainer. You want to remember this when it comes to sales, when it comes to giving, when it comes to business. Always make someone else happy first, and then they will go out of their way to make you happy in return.
That's true. So when did you learn about the concept of entrepreneurship, and like what did it mean to you, and was it something immediately where you're like, that's definitely for me. I'm tired of working for other people. I'm tired of having to, make somebody else's quota, whatever it is. Like, what was your first dive into entrepreneurship?
You know what? For me, it was when I started to find myself again, when I started to come back, when I was, after I was homeless in 2018, I started to take pictures of myself to get money to get us into a hostel that night. I tried to every night, when we didn't have a home for like 3 months, we were staying in hostels every night. Well, I was finding a space to live, and we would go into these spaces, and these were like horrendous to live in, like freaking drug dens. Literally, it felt like drug dens. Like, you wouldn't ever wish for you or your child to be in that space. But boy, I had no choice. So I was selling things. And then I went, okay, wait, I have a business here. If I look at all the influencers online, because 2018 was a big boom of influencers, right? And I was looking at it and I was like, if I can, and like bloggers, right? So if I could just take some pictures in clothes, and I only had like 2 trash liners of things, belongings, right, on me.
Right.
But I was like, if I could just take pictures in clothes, put them on my Instagram. I still had an Instagram because I was not going to shut that. Why was I going to shut that? So I just left that open. I don't want to show the shame of being homeless. I don't want to show the place where I'm getting ill. I don't want to show any of this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and get clothes together and take pictures, and maybe a brand will sponsor me. If I could just show that I'm already sponsored by a brand. So what I did, I used my brain. I always say to people, you can take everything from me, but you can't take my mind. You can't take my mind from me. And so I went into charity shops, like thrift stores, and I would take pictures in whatever they had, whatever clothes they had. And my son would sit on the floor, play with all the toys in the shop, whatever they had. It was so cute. And, he would stay busy with that. And this gave me hope every day. I would spend hours in these shops just making friends with the staff. And, I didn't tell them I was homeless. I just said, hey, can I try on some things and take some pictures? And they had no idea I had nothing to go home to. I didn't have a home. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
But, I managed to get a roof over our head very quickly. Now, how'd I do it? Because after I'd realized about getting rid of all my jewelry and selling piece by piece, which I was getting tiny bucks for, I should have been getting thousands for these pieces. But of course, when you're desperate, you'd accept anything. You're
Right.
desperate. It's like, I was like, I just got to get a couple of hundred together to get a roof over our head for like a few nights. This will save us, this will still get me off the street. And so then I took these pictures and I tagged brands. So it was as though I was working with them. So I'd take pictures of whatever they had in the stores. And some of these places have really great stuff with tags on it. It was like new. So I would take pictures wearing their clothes. And then literally about 3 days in, I remember one of the brands contacted me and they said, "Hey, Natasha, we love the post that you just put up in one of our pieces, but it's like out of season. We love your content. Can we send you something more updated? And we'll pay you
Nice.
£150 for it. It's like $200. Boy, that was the best money I ever received because I turned that 150 into a 6, then 7, and now 8-figure business. How'd I
Right.
turn that around? Because I used that money and I flipped it and I bootstrapped it until I started building. And
Yeah.
I used that and eventually got myself out of debt. Then was able to build. And I realized I'm going to do this. I'm going to work for myself so I can be with my son. I can take these pictures and people are going to send me stuff and pay for me to wear their stuff and promote their stuff. And then that evolved because in the caption was where the money was at. The caption. I would talk about mindset, and the caption, I would talk about the message of life and what I believed in, all this knowledge. I told you, I've been writing pages and pages and pages and pages of studies for years. And I started working through finding a piece and putting it as a caption. And it was just a breath of fresh air to be not desperate for money anymore.
Right.
And suddenly knowing like I was living paycheck to paycheck at the beginning, and then it evolved, and it can for anybody. But you got to understand how business works. And I studied it. I read, like I got myself a mentor. If you don't get into a program, if you don't get involved in this stuff, get yourself mentors, you won't evolve, you won't grow. So that
Right.
was for me a blessing.
So who was one of your first or few of your mentors that you really admired, and then maybe you got to end up working with them or meeting them later?
John Assaraf from The Secret was one of my biggest ones. So I read The Secret when I was 15. So that's like 17 years ago. And I loved it. It would change my whole perspective. And of course, I kept that knowledge when I went through my crazy journey. And then I crashed because I didn't apply it. It's what happens when you read, but you don't apply, when you don't take
Right.
action, when you just let it go in one ear and maybe sit in your brain, but you don't do anything about it. It's as good as having books on a shelf that you've read and not doing anything about it. What's the point in
True.
having all this amazing knowledge if you don't do anything about it? And so I was like, what can I do about this? And it only really applied later on. So John, I had read about in The Secret, Lisa Nichols, I read about in The Secret, Dr. DeMartini. So these guys ended up later on coming on my show. John Assaraf ended up
Nice.
being best man at my wedding on Clubhouse.
Oh, that's so
Like
cool.
he's become a really close friend of mine and guided me so much. And I told him when I was at his house the other day, I said, "Hey, you know what?" I said, "It's incredible." I said, me and my husband were there with him and his wife. We're having some dinner. And I said, "You know what's amazing?" I said, "John, you were one of my mentors I'd never met. And because of you and a few of the other authors in that book, I changed my life. I did a huge U-turn, and I've grown to be the woman I am today and overcome my past and overcome what I've been through." So yeah, he was definitely one of them. There's so many humans who I work with and speak with. Like I'm on stage with, I was on stage with Tony Robbins a few weeks ago. I was on stage last week with Gary Vee. These guys, like Tony Robbins in particular, was somebody I really looked up to. I was named the
Yeah.
female Tony Robbins. And then to be on a stage with him, I was like, whoa, this is nuts. We were on this virtual, it was online, but it was, to share the stages with people is amazing because it just shows anyone can do it. It just shows anyone
Yeah.
can do it. If I can do it, and I came from the bottom, then you can,
Yeah, it's really cool. I saw this. I didn't read The Secret. I saw the movie like 2009, I think is when I saw it. And I was just like, that was the first time I'd been kind of exposed to law of attraction and all of that. And I thought, man, this is really cool. So
Absolutely.
it's life changing. So how old were you when you had your son?
I was 26, 27. Yeah,
26. So, and
27.
how has having him changed your life, or how did it change your life as far as, it's different when you're a young woman and you're single and it's just you got to care for, right? And then all of a sudden you have this little human you have to be responsible for. How did
Boy.
that shift your life?
Oh my God, it made my why. It created my why. Like, why am I here on planet Earth? I'm here for him. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I doing what I do every day? It's for him. I want to be a role
Yeah.
model to him. I want to be a role model for him to grow up and say, hey, look what my mom's doing for other people. I want to
Mm-hmm.
be something greater than I am today. He shifted my whole perspective. He made me realize I could be something greater than I was at the time.
And so what's the most rewarding thing, like when something he says, or how he runs around, and or how kids are, they just one day they'll be sitting there and they just pop something out of their face and you're like, what?
Oh
Like,
my God, he said some deep stuff to me over the years, like what do you do, mommy? And I was like, I help people. And he was like, how do you help people? And then I told him, like, I speak on stages and I help people through their life to be happier. And
mm-hmm.
he was like, but what about me? And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, and that really touched me because I was like, I'm with you all the time. I help you all the time. But that was a really deep moment because it was the what about me where I was like, the investors at the start of my career a few years ago. So I was like, I need to really like keep him with me and have him like come with me almost. So he does. He comes with
Mm-hmm.
me a lot of the time now when I speak on stages to show him like he's a big part of my journey. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's when kids ask you deep stuff, it's so emotional, you
It-
know?
so
They know where to pull on your heartstrings, I swear.
I
They just
know.
know.
I know. My granddaughter asked me one day, Mimi, why do you love me so much? And I just looked at her. I was
Aw.
like, because you're my baby. I mean, your mommy's my baby too, but you're my baby too. So that's why I love you so much, because you're part of my family. And she was like, oh, okay. Just went on
Oh my
about her
God,
little business.
that's so cute. And girl, you do not look old enough to be a grandma. Oh my God,
Ah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
Congratulations. So gorgeous.
Thanks. I claim to be a grandma. No grandmas here. So, I have three now.
Amen.
So it's
I love that. You
interesting.
are a glamour. I love that one. I'm gonna
Yeah.
when I have grandchildren, I'm like, I'm glamour. Okay, that's my
Yes.
name. That's a good name.
I'm a
Thank you for that.
grandma, but they call me Mimi. So, it's how it is. But yeah.
I
So
love
what
it.
legacy do you want to leave do you plan on having more kids? And like, what's the legacy you want to leave for them too?
Yes, someday I'd love to. Maybe I'll adopt.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll have more naturally and adopt. I want to do my orphanage, which is so important to me.
Mm,
And I want to be a big part of actually building that. We're going to hopefully start a foundation at some point, but at the moment, just supporting other people's orphanages. I
mm-hmm.
support lots of children's charities. So that's a big pull on my heart. A legacy I want to leave is reaching millions of children who we've saved through charities we've donated to
Yeah.
orphanages we've built around the world. I want to continue with that and do it on a bigger scale. I'd love to make 1 billion so I can give 100 million to charity
Yeah.
in one check, just in one check. Like, here, please. Children are a big pull on my heart. So that's, the orphanages is a big one for me. And then leaving the legacy of my MBS method thereafter I'm gone. Not my name necessarily. It's about
Mm-hmm.
leaving the legacy of how to overcome fears, traumas, pains, how to better your life in health, wealth, abundance, love, happiness, using
Right.
my MBS method, how to become the best version of you. So that's the legacy I want to leave.
That's amazing. I love that. Yes, because our kids are the future. Without
Oh, I
them,
know.
we'll all die. Everything will die, right?
Totally.
If we don't nurture that. So when you were during the period when you were homeless, how did that change your view of yourself and the world? Like, how did that being around other people and in an environment that you couldn't control, with everything that was going on there, how did that shift you? Because that's one of those moments. It's just like something shifts, whether it's
You
a
know,
good thing, bad thing, it shifts.
it's just a reality check. It's just like I knew it wasn't permanent and I prayed that it was not going to be. You don't know. It's terrifying
It's
actually, because you
true.
don't know whether you're going to actually be like there every single day. But I knew my mind, and I knew I would find a way out. I knew I would find a way out, and I did.
Yeah.
And so it didn't last for more than, a day and a night. Technically, for 3 months after that, we were still as such homeless because we didn't have a house. We were living hostel to hostel room to
Mm.
hostel room to somebody's couch. We didn't know. That was weird.
Right.
To like, rooms we didn't know, eventually into a room in a house, paying rent into.
Got
Then
it.
we went back to my mom's house finally once, the shame passes and the guilt and it's tough, it's tough when you go through that stuff, but that's it. It's definitely a reality check. It wakes you up. It makes you go like, I need to change. Something's not right. Because when pain hits you, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, it hits
Right.
you to say you're going in the wrong direction.
That's true. It's a reality check, like you said, or it's like a knock knock, like, hello, something's not right here. We need to get it
Absolutely.
together.
And I knew it. It was like, I need to wake up. I need to totally wake up and change and evolve. And this is the start for me. And it was like everything had to go so wrong to get to that place. So yeah, it was tough.
And then when you got sick, like what got you through that? Because I know that's another thing. Like if when your health goes bad, man, you just like, it's, what do you do? Because then it's another out of control thing. You don't necessarily know maybe what's wrong with you and how it's going to get better or whatever. So like, how did you get through that mentally?
I got through that through my MBS method. That was really what helped me. I invested like, I don't remember how much, like $100 in a program. And that was the best $100 I ever spent. When I put that $100 into this program helped me to understand how I could overcome through simple exercises pain and anxiety, because the anxiety off the back of the illness was worse than the actual illness. I had an overactive thyroid, right? Hypothyroidism, but the illness I was on heart medication. My heart was all over. There was a lot of stress and a lot that was going on that caused then 3 panic attacks a day. And so because of that was almost worse, to the point I was like bedbound. I wasn't getting out of bed. And so, that was a bad point. But how did I overcome that? I started doing breathing exercises, because I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Cyprus. I was sent to the Troodos Mountains when I was about 18, right after I finished school. We call it school in the UK anyway, so that were high school. And when I finished school, I was rebelling. My parents could see this girl needs to go and have reality checks, and they sent me away to this monastery, which was the most amazing experience to me now looking back on it, but at the time I didn't see it. At 18 you don't see it. We're milking cows every day, we're helping shed sheep fur, and like like helping animals and cleaning bathrooms, toilets, making our own food all together from the wild. It was a crazy experience. And you're looked after by nuns. And so, and sort of, if you want, monks in this way. So now I'm here, and it was more priests than, I would say, more than monks. But anyway, whatever it was more of a religious experience that we were doing. And there were other children there. Now, I tried to escape every day because I didn't see the value in this at the time. Right now, if you sent me there, I would love it. I would see the value. I would be up for doing that kind of thing, because I know it would be evolving my soul. But back then at 18, you just don't see it. So I didn't see it. So all of a sudden, I try and run away. So I run into the mountains where we are, okay? And I'm out walking one day, and I'm walking down a hill to another mountain. I'm just getting further and further, and I'm going nowhere. It's just the middle of nowhere. And then I look across one of these mountains, and I see, sitting there peacefully on a hill very near where I was, this man. And he looked old. He had like a long white beard, a yogi, and he was sitting there shirtless in the sun, and he was doing this exercise with his chest. So his chest was going in, out like this, his inhaling, exhaling, and his stomach and his chest was like contracting. And I found it really interesting to watch. And he was doing a hum sound, and like his hands, and there was a whole stream of things. So I watched him for 7 days. By about day 3, I remember I went back again, I wasn't really trying to escape this time because I realized that I was stuck in this monastery. And so I just went to where he was. I was more intrigued by what he was doing. And I asked him, can I sit down with you? So I made my way over to where he was in this part of the mountain. And I sat with him and he said, yeah, please join in. And I sat with him and he looked maybe, I don't know, 80 years old. The guy was 104 years old.
Oh my God.
104 years old. And
That's
so
wild.
anyway, I sat with him and it was amazing. We just breathed together. He showed me what breathing is. He explained how the breath can either heal you or kill you. And he was a breatharian, so he lived on the breath. He lived on light. He lived on, plants. It was an amazing story.
Wow.
But he showed me how to breathe. And so he said, this is how you breathe, and breathing can heal you. Now, I put that to bed, didn't think about it again, but I learned these ancient breathing techniques that have been passed down to him by his great grandpa and so on. And it was a beautiful story. So I put that away, didn't think about it. A few years later, when I got my illness, I then realized, oh my God, if I could get hold of the yogi that I met, who I obviously had the address of. So I wrote to him, he wrote back and said, here, you can come on a video call with me. And we sat on a video call. When we sat on the video call, he taught me how to do the breathing again. Now, instead of me shutting the laptop after I spoke to him, okay, and I don't know if he's still around now. He's probably like, if he's alive, he'll be so old. But anyway, at the time, I remember, and I shut this laptop, and instead of just putting the laptop away after doing these breathing exercises, I went into a guided meditation, because when you do breathing, how he showed me these ancient practices, which are so powerful and so healing. Actually, what happens is you go into a heightened state of awareness, an altered state of awareness. You relax so much, you go into your parasympathetic nervous system. And so when he was doing it, I was already so calm. So now I did a meditation on the back of it. And there and behold was born my MBS method, which is a combination of ancient breathing techniques, deep guided meditation, removing the limiting belief that's inside of you, anchoring, visualizing what you want to achieve, and then creating, all in your alpha and theta state. So that's the long-winded version of my very sorry about that short story.
No, it's cool. That's really, I mean, what are the odds to be wandering through the woods and come up on this man doing breathing?
I know.
Our lives are just wild, right? That's just crazy. So what advice would you give to a single mom who feels discouraged about, her life is just not going the way she wants it to? She's had some setbacks, what would you say? What advice would you give her?
To the mom that's listening, and boy, I'm going to tell you now, make your mess your message. Make your setback your comeback, okay? And a great quote that you're going to love: behind every great setback is an equal or greater set up. I believe that's by Napoleon Hill. So just remember, you can come back. You do not have to sit back and set back. You don't have to wait. You don't have to be destroyed. When something tries to go against you, let it be the boost you need to come out of it, to use it as your story, to come back with it as vengeance to the beautiful mission you have. Like, hey, it's okay that something tried to stop me in my tracks, that something tried to pull me down. Today is my chance to re-show up.
Right.
Every day you recommit to yourself. I want to show up today. I want to be the best version of myself today. Today, I want to help someone. And today I'm going to share my story for the greater good, because who misses out if I don't show up? Who misses out if I don't do this mission? Who misses out if I don't get out of bed today? My children, my future children, the charity, the children in that charity, the world. You're not doing a justice to yourself or the world if you don't show up at your highest today.
That's true. That's good. I'll take that. So how's the law of attraction changed your life? And are there any things that you manifested and then after you got it, you were like, whoa, I didn't know if I wanted that. Like, maybe I didn't want that. That kind of thing.
The law of attraction is always happening. Whether we believe in it or not, it's happening all around us.
Right.
I am so grateful that I understand it, because I understand that whatever we think and feel strongly is going to just come into our reality. So I've had numerous times where I've thought about something super negative for ages, and then it comes to fruition. It's like when you think, I don't want to fall in the hole. No, I don't want to fall in the hole. You're going to fall in the hole. So you've just got to recognize that you can design your life. You are the creator, the architect of your life. And if you choose to ignore that and just allow negative thoughts to sit in your mind, negative feelings to soak and infiltrate you, you will become that, because your thoughts become your feelings become your actions become your habits, and your habits are you.
That's true. And so now, thinking about all the things you manifested, what was the quickest time it took to get something, and what took the longest?
The quickest time was literally 24 hours. So I would say I manifested a car in 24 hours. I manifested my husband in 3 weeks. The things that took the longest is when I believed inside of me that they actually couldn't happen and wouldn't happen to me. Right. Oh, that won't happen to me. Oh no, that's not my life. That's her life. That's not going to happen to me. I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as her. No, those are the times when I wish I hadn't have done that, because it took years to come. So I realized I've got to remove the limiting belief inside of me to get rid of these traumas that are storing.
Right. That's true. So are you and hubby manifesting anything that you want to build together besides the orphanage? But
what is sure. The orphanage is a big one for us. We are just manifesting that we reach more people, that we serve more people, that we show up and become better people. And that's really where we're going towards at the moment.
So, I'm the style goddess. What's your favorite thing to wear that makes you feel amazing?
You know what? I love wearing pink. I love the color. I feel good in it. But my actual favorite thing to wear is like fluffy clothes. Like they look real fluffy and soft and like sheepskin stuff. Like it just looks fluffy. I literally live in that. Like I live in that stuff. It's like trackies and hoodies that are made in that fluffy stuff. I love it. I live in that.
So what are some things now that you've bought that you couldn't afford before that you were like, I'm so happy and blessed that I can buy this now? What's one or two of those things that
clothes wise
or anything like that you're just like, or trips or whatever, like what something that you said, man, houses. I'll never be able to afford that. Houses. Okay.
I never thought I'd be able to afford houses. I got beautiful villas around the world. Nice. I rent them out. I have there's a beautiful part of my journey is building these villas, and I rent them out, and then they're used for different events, charity sometimes, or maybe events for people to stay in, or just I rent them out, and I love it. I love that. My, home that I'm in here, you can't see, but like my beautiful view of the ocean. I appreciate just being able to buy now, because I didn't think that was possible for me. So when I tell you this, I tell you because you can do it too. This is not me. This is not just Natasha. This is like, look how much I've been through. So if I'm able to do it, honey, you can do it.
Yeah. So tell me all about your new book and when it's coming out.
I'm so excited. The new book, Be It Till You Become, is out probably around now, August 2nd. So you will be able to buy this anywhere you can buy a book. Just go to your local bookstore, go online. The best place to do is just go to beittilyoubecomeit.book.com. And then when you do that, beittilyoubecomeit.book.com, guess what? You're going to get a free program, which is worth more than the book, it's just amazing. You're going to learn so much in the program. Get the free program. And then when you buy the book, that's how you get the free program. You just put the receipt number in. You get a free program on how to be it until you become it. This is where neuroscience meets ancient wisdom. And this will help you to become a happier, more fulfilled and better person in all my 12 steps. So I hope you enjoy it. Be it till you become it.
That. That's awesome. So, and any other events or anything that are coming up and that people could come see you at?
Just the book. Come and grab me in the book with that right now. That's the best place. And, I always hang with you on Clubhouse on a Sunday. So girls and guys and everybody else, come and join us on Clubhouse every Sunday. We want to see you there. It's always real fun. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern every Sunday. When I can be there, I'm there. But, the Law of Attraction room always runs every Sunday, Law of Attraction Secrets. But, the best thing right now, if you want to change your life, honestly, my actionable step for you is take action. So
Mm-hmm.
don't just listen to what I'm saying, don't apply it. Listen to what I'm saying and hit that link, for example. Go and make the decision today
Right.
to download that free program, which is what, $500, or maybe it's $997. I don't know. Is that what it's worth on there? But boy, you don't waste time. Go now and step up into your power. This is your chance and your moment to take action. Because if you leave it on the shelf like I did, then you don't know where your life goes.
It kind of goes nowhere, right?
Get in control. Yeah. Get in control. Don't stay stagnated. Don't stop.
And for everybody who doesn't know, Clubhouse is an app. It's an interactive podcast. You can go on and go in rooms and listen and interact with people. So definitely check that out. Check out the Law of Attraction on Sunday with Natasha and all the other fantastic people that show up there. It's been an amazing conversation with you. Thank you so much. It was an honor and a privilege to have a great interactive conversation with you. And tell everybody where else they can find you, IG or any of your other platforms.
Sure. Hit me up anywhere. Natasha Graziano on every platform. And send me a DM. Yeah, I'd love to get in touch with you guys. Natasha Graziano on every platform. I'm going to give you my links, Cara, so you can maybe put them below for everyone to tune into. But yeah, get yourself a book, buy it for a family member, share it, share the message. Like, it's a great gift. Telling someone, like, I believe in you. Like, I'm so excited for you. I love it. When I show up to somebody's house, I always take a book. Always take a book as a gift. I'm like, this is my friend. She wrote a great book. Or like, when a member of staff comes over to my house, they leave. I'm like, take this book. It's going to change your life. I love it. So I love helping people by giving them new knowledge.
I love that. I love your energy. It's infectious. And thanks so much. I'm so excited that everybody's going to get to just experience you from this interview and enjoy your book. So, and definitely we'll have you back, after the book drops, and we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. It's such a joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe so you won't miss our next conscious conversation with Cara and her fabulous guests. Follow Cara on social, on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Clubhouse, @Cara Allan, and connect with her on her website at caraallan.com. Also, leave a review if you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks again, and see you next time.